there was a point in time last year when I was so stressed. It was coming towards the ending of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, where I was so stressed, where I would leave and I would walk 15 minutes to go and buy triple chocolate cookies from Co-op.
Oh, that is nice.
And walk back. I didn't care. It was raining.
Yeah.
So I was stressed. That's how stressed I was. Yeah. And I remember speaking to a nutritionist about it. And he was like, at any point during the walk, do you not feel like... No.
Absolutely.
I was like, that's how stressed I was. That I would walk. I was walking to decompress, but I was like, I'm going to eat these, and I'd eat them all. Like, I didn't even feel bad about it. And he was like, no, you sound like you're in a really stressful situation. No, I was at the time. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Advice with Alex and Friends, the podcast. I'm your host Alex, and I'm joined by my beautiful co-host Novella.
Hi guys.
And this episode is all about balancing having a healthy lifestyle despite being really busy. So before we get into that, make sure you are following the podcast at Advice with Alex on Instagram and at Advice with Alex and Friends on TikTok. And if you haven't subscribed already, I don't know why, make sure that you do that. So we were just saying that we know that being healthy and fit helps you, right?
Yeah.
Overall, okay? I've never met anybody who's healthy and fit that's like sees that as a hindrance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we know how it impacts us and it helps us overall. So why is it as soon as something in your life ramps up or changes, that's the first thing that we abandon?
Yeah.
Typically, and I'm going to use work as an example, I know that for me, the times where I put on weight was because I was probably stressed out at work.
Yeah.
I remember, like 10 years ago now, I had put on a significant amount of weight. I was so stressed out at work. I wasn't able to work out. Well, I thought I wasn't able to work out anyway. And so, I just ended up piling weight and I was so stressed out. I wasn't eating the best foods. And that just helped me to perpetuate feeling bad and stuck. It's almost like, oh, I didn't go to the gym, I didn't eat well, so I'm gonna eat crap, and then you feel sad about that, and then
it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle, isn't it? Yeah.
And I know that now, I'm not saying that I have all the time in the world, but I know it's really important for me to stay on top of it. So like, I haven't been to the gym for months, but I work out every day, 6 days a week at home. And that, that's a non-negotiable for me. And at this point, it's not even just, in terms of vanity. It's about, I need this for myself. Yeah. If I don't do this for myself, I know that by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to be upset that I didn't. So just get up and do it. Yeah. And once I'm 50% of the way through, because literally the lady that I watch, she's called Growing Ananas, and it's like HIIT training. And when I'm 50% of the way through, I'm like, oh, we're 50% already. Like, and I feel better, and I'm grateful that I did that. So, I know that that's a really big thing for me, and it's a non-negotiable for me. That's not something I'm throwing away by the wayside anymore. Yeah. Because it takes so much work
to get back into it
when you fall off.
I know.
It's hard.
Yeah, you're right. I'm 100% with you in terms of definitely, and I've only really and truly, I've not been a health and fitness person up until about just prior to the pandemic, actually. Prior to that, I didn't work out. I gained so much weight over those years. I got a huge amount of weight. And it was just prior to the pandemic happening, then I switched my diet and I lost weight, and then I put it back on again. But then
during the pandemic?
No, I lost weight during the pandemic. It's when the pandemic reopened, I put weight back on again. I was the opposite of most people. I think a lot of people told me they put weight on during the pandemic.
No, I think there was a 50-50 split of people who were like, okay, you know what? There's nothing else.
No,
let
I
me
was
just
so
lock. Let me
disciplined.
lock in. Yeah, let me, because there was no outside distractions for
No.
them. Yeah.
And then as soon as it opened up, and it's just like, okay, restaurant here, okay, thingy here, and then it just thingy, and yeah. But then for me, I only really and truly fitness probably about 2 or 3 years ago, when I kind of started going to the gym regularly, and till now, go at least, I'm not as good as you, we do 6. I do 4 times, but I go to the gym. Mine is a mixture of either 2 classes and then 2 workouts, or 2 classes and then 3 workouts. So depending, if I can do 5,
Then you do 5,
I do 5,
yeah.
100%. But you're right, it's the first thing. And I remember, like, even I was speaking to you this year, and I was just like, I've got a lot going on, and I said, what's making me feel worse is that because I have not been able to, I've given fitness up. And that was only, and I was slightly, not exaggerating, but it was like 3 weeks. But it felt like,
But
for
it
me,
feels like a long
it felt
time.
like
It
3
does,
months
it
to me,
does.
because I was just like, in my head, I was just like, I've gained 2 stone. Because it's just like, I have not been able to work out. Because then sometimes in my head, I'm always like, okay, it's fine. I'm gonna work out slightly later. Like, let's say, for instance, I don't know, I've had an extra something on my lunch and stuff like that. It's just like, okay, it's all right, don't worry, I'm gonna work. I've had a packet of crisps, sorry, should I say, instead of a bowl of fruit, and then I'm like, it's okay, I'm gonna go work it out later, so it's not awful. But in my head, it was just like, I've eaten a bag of crisps now. I am morbidly obese, because in my head I'm like, where am I? And I'm good where even if I can't get to the gym, I would at least get out for a walk. But I was just like, things were so intense, I could not even go out for a walk. And then it adds another stress layer.
Yeah.
So then I feel like, okay, this is self-inflicting. And then you're right, it's just around, no, actually, now I'm like, I need to get into a routine where that's not the first thing that I give up. Why can't it be the packet of crisps that I give up? Why can't it be those things why can't it be, I don't know, why can't it be something else that I give up? Why is it fitness? And I'm like, have I still not trained my mind to let it know that it is just as important as me waking up and making breakfast or having my cup of coffee? I have a cup of coffee every single morning without fail. No matter how busy I am, even if I have to have coffee on the go, I will make sure that is included. So I was just like, so why can't I do that with fitness, where I'm like, actually, it's just as important, and I love it as much as I love my coffee.
So what is it about coffee that you love, or that makes you say every single day I'm going to drink my coffee no matter what? I don't care, even if it means I'm late, even if it means I'm whatever it is, I'm gonna have my coffee.
Like, literally, I'm on my way to work, and like, my meeting is starting in 2 minutes. I am stopping up at Cafe Nero, and I will be like, I'm so sorry guys, I was getting a coffee. I don't give a damn. But you're right, I don't know, it just gives me 5 minutes of peace. I always sit there, because I don't tend to, when I have my cup of coffee, I'm like, I always say that this is my time where I might just read emails. I don't start work until I've finished my cup of coffee, like, properly, because it's like, okay, like, yeah, it's just like, kind of breathe, okay, all right, you trying to try me today, okay, I'll leave you. You know, it's just, it's just part of my routine, but it's just as important, like you say. Fitness is just as important to get in. Yeah,
but I guess it's having that mind frame around it, right? So I know the reason why, that's why I asked you about how you see your coffee, because it's the same thing. We had an episode a while back where we spoke about spending, and we're like, we're happy to save money.
Yes.
We're happy to invest money. It makes us feel good, right?
Yeah.
So you have to apply that same method to your health and your fitness, and that's, I think that was what the shift was for me, because I noticed this. It happened the same thing 2 years ago, where I was like, Alex, you're a workout person.
Yeah.
Like, you actually enjoy fitness. You enjoy moving your body. Yeah. And I'm like, like, really, like, and I think it's about figuring out what type of workout works for you. I know I love walking.
Yes,
I love HIIT training. I do like weight training. I'm not saying I would weight train all the time. I do miss it though in the gym. But I don't have a problem with doing HIIT training. There's some people that they hate burpees and they hate like mountain climbers and all that stuff. I don't mind so long as somebody's telling me to do it. I don't mind doing it. If I have to do it on my own, then that's long. But like when I'm doing it, I feel good. I'm like, this is me pouring into me, and I'm gonna, you know, my clothes are gonna fit me better, and I'm gonna have more mental clarity later on down. So I guess it's giving me that high that you feel when you drink your coffee. So it's like applying that same training and gratification. It might, whilst coffee gives you instant gratification, this one may not give you instant gratification. It might give you gratification at the end to say, oh yeah, I've done it and I feel great. Of course. Everything compounding, it compounds every day. So if you compare yourself in January and then you look at yourself in June and you keep going, you're like, you're going to notice difference. Certain clothes are going to fit differently on you. You know, people will see a difference. The people will notice a difference in you. Your skin will probably start to clear up, and you will just feel fitter and better, right? Things that maybe certain, you know, things that you were struggling to do in January. June is easy.
I know. It's, you know what, and that's so true. I like to look forward to like milestones. That helps me as well keep on track. Like for instance, little things now, I only really and truly, unless I'm going out, I only really and truly drink water. Like we have got zero soft drinks at our house. It's literally just water. But you're right, I'm like just noticing like how much clearer my skin is, and you just feel, I don't know why, I just feel better. Like I'm just like, okay, coffee's like, I always say it's like my naughty treat and everything, but you know, throughout the week, so, you know, unless I'm going out for dinner or drinks or whatever, like I always try and drink water. But I've definitely as well noticed the benefits in things like that. So yeah, it's like creating milestones, like what could you not do? And I'm very good at documenting stuff like that. I'll be like, okay, I went body combat, and you know, the first one that I went to, I couldn't do a single burpee. But now when we do it, there's like a section where you have to do it for like 30 seconds or something like that. I'm like keeping up with everyone. I'm like, so it's just those sorts of things. It's just like, so when I'm like, okay, if I miss a week or two, I'm like, oh no, that means I feel like I'm gonna go back. And then I'm going to be panting because I can't do as many as I used to be able to do it. So yeah.
No, it makes a big difference. I think just having that reframe, that mind of this is ultimately working for my greater good. And I'm one of those people that like there's a bit of vanity in it for me. I don't ever want for someone to look at me and be like, oh, you used to look good. Are you silly?
Oh my God, you always look good.
Don't. Let's behave. And even just looking again, like if we look at Black Hollywood, for example, when you look at like Lisa Ray came up on my Instagram page today, and someone showed a picture of her at 32 and her at 56, right? And obviously she looks beautiful in both of them, and it's like she's just continued to look great with age, and you can tell obviously she looks after herself. And I think it's that same thing of like, again, that future version of myself. I know that I know in my mind what she looks like and how she carries herself, and that's, in order for me to make that reality, I need to look after myself today. 100% need to look after myself today. There's so many amazing women like in their 50s, 60s and beyond, and they look great because they started now. And health and fitness is one of those things. I think also mental health plays a part of it, just making sure that you focus on the things that you can control and leave the ones that you can't. That's also something else. But yeah, like just reframing your mind, like this is good for me, and if it doesn't come to you naturally, sometimes you have to be a bit delusional.
Well, or if it doesn't, for me, like someone like me, it doesn't come naturally to me, so I have to put measures in place to get me disciplined. So I might have to, whereas you are really great where you're disciplined in a way where you can do the HIIT workouts and everything like that from home. I'm someone where I have to pay for either a gym membership, or two, I have to like pay for like, I don't know, to join an online class, which keeps me disciplined, because when I see that money coming out, I was like, I have to do this. But those are extreme measures, because for me, fitness and that does not come natural to me. Like, I have to put things in place. And I always say that, I'm like, I'm someone that needs to be disciplined to do certain things, because you're right, I will quickly, like, if things get hard, I'm like, oh yeah, fitness has got to go out the window.
Yeah.
And it definitely has not served me well in the past. And so, yeah, I'm learning now where it's just like, it's just upon overall, and not just physically, but just mentally as well, the importance too. So, yeah.
I agree. I think mentally overall, I realise how important it is to stay on top. And just even in terms of like food, when I am like putting things on my plate, I'm like, veggies first.
Yes, always.
And because I don't do calorie counting, I can't no.
Yeah.
But I just kind of look at my plate and I know, okay,
that's enough.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, yeah.
And are you really hungry?
Yeah.
Are you thirsty?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're thirsty.
Yeah.
And when you've drank the water, you're all right. You're good to go.
And that's the only good thing from moving out of home, which is good, because now, like, I control the shopping and what comes in the house, because, like I said, I need discipline. I am a child. You have to treat me like a child. No sweets and chocolates in my house, because I am a child. And that's how I have to do things. Whereas, like, living at home, you know, obviously people were eating what they want to eat, and you know, I would, thinking that me and my sister are age mates. You know, if you see my sister's absolutely gorgeous body. Can eat whatever she wants to eat. I'm not the same. So, you know, she picks up Chris, I pick up Chris, you know, I balloon, I don't know where it goes for her, but yeah, it's just those things. So whereas now when I go shopping, I don't buy, like, so if I want a sweet treat, it's just like, oh, there's only strawberries, or there's only rice cakes, or there's only, just things like that, like you said. So it's just like, well, it's not even here. I have to go out of my way to go and buy it. And by the time the rain has come or the cold is outside, like, I'm not going to go do it. I'm not going to go do it. So
you've already made peace. You already made peace.
I've made peace with it.
Yeah.
It's not in the house.
It's too late. I can't go outside. That's how, you know, and do you know what? When there was a point in time last year when I was so stressed. It was coming towards the ending of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. Well, I was so stressed where I would leave and I would walk 15 minutes to go and buy triple chocolate cookies from Co-op.
Oh, that is nice.
And walk back. I didn't care. It was raining.
Yeah.
So I was stressed. That's how stressed I was. Yeah. And I remember speaking to a nutritionist about it. And he was like, at any point during the walk, do you not feel like... No.
Absolutely.
I was like, that's how stressed I was. That I would walk. I was walking to decompress, but I was like, I'm going to eat these, and I'd eat them all. Like, I didn't even feel bad about it. And he was like, no, you sound like you're in a really stressful situation. No, I was at the time. But there is something about, I remember being on Noom a couple of years ago. So Noom is like one of those weight loss apps, and it did help in terms of, it's a psychological thing. It spoke about, is the food telling you to eat me? Like, does it like whisper? And there's a really good episode in Euphoria, in the first season of Euphoria, where Zendaya, I don't know if you've never watched Euphoria, it's like a Gen Z type show. They're all in high school and they've each got their own different, you know, issues. And Zendaya is actually addicted to drugs in this show. And there is an episode where she's locked in a room and the drugs are literally like, the pills are like literally saying, take one. It won't hurt. So it's like, is the food doing that to you? And I was like, no, it actually isn't. The food is not speaking to me, telling me to eat it. Like, you can actually have control. And I think decentering food is one of the best things that you can do for yourself as a whole. Like, food is a beautiful thing. It's there to be enjoyed. It shouldn't control you. And I think for me, one of the biggest things that I had to accept was that I was an emotional eater. Whenever I'd feel discomfort, in any situation, I just wanted to eat something to like help me not have to deal with that. And there are healthier ways to deal with something that makes you feel uncomfortable. So, for example, I've spoken about journaling, going for walks, the working out, eating healthier, and there is nothing wrong with feeling an uncomfortable emotion. You just don't have to suppress it. For the longest time, I thought I'd have to suppress it. So once I identified that thing, I think it became a bit easier for me to like manage. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a good shout.
Big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Key thing was I thought I was like, oh, because that's another thing. You know, when you say I am, like, but I feel like I can say with chest, I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't succumb to that anymore.
No.
There are times where I'm like, I could, but I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear that. Yeah. I think I'm still learning, definitely, to be like, girl, you're not hungry. Like, it's fine. Go have a cup of tea or some water. And one of the best advice that I always got, because I always used to think that you had to be like properly feel full to know to stop eating. And it's just like, well, what you've put on your plate is fine. And what you need to do sometimes is give yourself about 30 minutes after you finish eating, because sometimes your fullness doesn't kick in straight away. But just give yourself some time afterwards, and then you actually do eventually start feeling. But I used to feel like, oh no, I feel like I can eat more, and because I felt like I could eat more, I would go and eat more. But it's just like, no, that's enough. Like, I'm fine. Like, I don't want to train my belly to be overeating, which I used to do for years. Like, just train it to say, well, I don't feel like uncomfortably full, so I can still keep eating. Yeah, or not being comfortable with having food still on the plate. It's like, you know, when you're full, but you keep going because the food is in front of you. That is my biggest thing. Eh? Like, I always clear my. If you put food in, like, I always clear my plate. Yeah, I actually do. I very rarely leave food on my plate. I don't know if this is all bad, but no, I hear it. I think for me, in terms of so I've done intermittent fasting for years, but you know, the last couple of months I started to do extended fasting in terms of like 24 hours, 36 hours, and learning when I'm actually hungry. Yeah, and learning my cues was really helpful. It's like, okay, and I think it's kind of reduced my appetite as a whole. Brilliant. Which is good. And these days when I go out to eat afterwards, I'll kind of I'll reset and like maybe have like a 24 hour. It was close to 24 hour or 36 hour where I don't eat and I reset again. So it's not like well, you ate this on this day, which is absolutely fine, because I think the other thing is you don't want to go from, like in my case, being an emotional eater to then being afraid of food. I think you don't want to go from like swinging the pendulum one way to the other. Food is there to be enjoyed, and again, you know, the food is not telling you, like, it's not whispering. Yeah, it's not whispering. You're fat. Like, you know what I mean? You're this. It's not doing all of that. That's just in your head. You know, like sometimes I still do it where if I eat something and it's not necessarily the best thing, I don't know what it is. I feel like I've put on weight in my thighs straight away as I'm eating. It's gone straight to my thighs. It's so crazy. But there's trying to find the right balance between the two, because we are humans. Absolutely. You know, and everything in moderation. Everything should be in moderation. There's a time for everything. Yeah. And you can enjoy things in due time. Yeah. Just make sure the majority of the time it's good. It's good, and that you make it a priority for you. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, I make sure, like, on Sundays, like, very rarely, don't call me, because that's the day that I do all my meal preps. I'm very honest with people. Say on Sundays I'm stuck in the kitchen, because if I don't, it has a knock-on effect during the week, because it's much harder for me to do either meals. I have to be quite strict with eating, because I've got very, very slow metabolism, so I put on weight very quickly. So it allows me to free up that time. Yeah. So, like, for instance, like, I don't know, like, where maybe other people can just shove in oven food and stuff like that. I consciously have to be like, no, I have to cook food. I have to cook fresh food. And or if I know that I'm going out at the weekend, and I'm like, you know, during the week, I was just like, well, I can't flex on that. I have to eat that, because I know, okay, on Saturday it's going to be an off day and everything like that. But Sundays for me, very rarely thingy, because I have to meal prep, because it just helps me. Like I said, I have to be disciplined. I need discipline, so it's just like I have to do that so I can make sure then for the rest of the week I know I'm good.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something that's really important. So in terms of what you're doing now to make Future You proud with health, fitness and staying on top of it, so being consistent, what are you doing to make sure that you're being consistent?
So I think for me is one, holding myself account, and other people holding me accountable too. So my partner is really, really good, because you know, for instance, like if it's working out and let's say, you know, I don't know, I had a late night the day before and then we go to the gym in the morning together. And so sometimes I'll be like, oh, you know, I'll go a bit later, I'm tired. No, I wouldn't. It's having that person and listening to that too. As well, but also knowing the benefits of what it is. I want to, you know, what I can control. I don't know how long I have on this earth. That much is true. But what I can control is around like my health and being healthy, not just for myself, but I also want to be a really good example to my future kids. I really want to one, be able to, you know, be active with them. I don't want to be that kind of mum where I can't do this, I can't do that, you know, because I wasn't making smart life choices. I want to be a really good example for them. And I just want to live the healthiest. I want to look good in years to come. I really, really do. And you can only do that with looking after yourself.
Agreed. Yeah, making it a priority.
Yeah.
I think, I echo the same sentiment. In terms of what I'm doing now, it's just making that the priority. My health is just as important as anything else in my life at the moment. And going back to what you said in terms of, you know, making your future kids proud, and they watch you. My son joins in with me when I'm doing the workout.
Absolutely.
And I gas him up and he gasses me up.
Yeah.
And I love that for us.
Yeah. So, you jump, he jumps.
Yeah. Literally. But also there is something about, you know, people seeing, or kids seeing their parents do it too. And you kind of instilling it. I know that I didn't see that. And whilst growing up, so being in school, I was definitely an active person. Once I left school, that didn't follow me. I didn't have that blueprint. Whereas there's some people who their parents have always been active and that's something that's instilled in them. So I'm making sure that I instill that in my children for sure. Yeah. So guys, in terms of a great question, what are your concerns in terms of being able to incorporate fitness? I think that people make different excuses. I'm stressed out, you know, I've got so much going on, there isn't the time. So what are your blockers at the moment that are stopping you from being the healthiest version of yourself, and how are you going to overcome those to make sure that you are the healthiest version of yourself, essentially? Let us know in the comment section. So if you're not subscribed already, I don't know why, make sure that you are. And until next time, that's it from us. Take care. Bye.
Bye.